The guy nicknamed Head, Korn guitarist Brian Welch, is used to changing tunes, especially after his rock star life caused a radical awakening.
I was a millionaire and I had houses, cars, and all that stuff, and I was famous, and I had no rest inside. I was an empty shell walking around with anxiety filled inside. Jesus says, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." When he came in, he gave me that peace and rest that I couldn't buy.
To confront addictions and raise his daughter, Brian left Korn, seemingly for good. But nearly a decade later, his surprising return to the famed heavy metal band struck a chord.
I know that I'm controversial sometimes with people because I went back to Korn.
God is just a loving God who loves us. Jesus was like accused of hanging out with prostitutes and sinners, and they're like, how can you hang out with those people? It's the same stuff today. Some of the religious people are like, how can they tell me, how can you be in Korn? How can you play that music?
I wouldn't bring my youth group there, but I'm called to be there to affect people and to be a voice for him. And Paul said, "I'll become all things to all people so I might save some."
All things include here, one of 45 stops on Korn's current tour, playing songs to captivated metal audiences from a playlist often described as disturbing.
What kind of metal is it?
Intense. There is this music and this aggression. Some people don't think about it too deeply. They're just like, I like it. I like it. It's a place where people are passionate. People are saying what's in their heart and it's coming out of their mouths. Like, you hurt me, you did this to me, and I hate you, but I'm gonna be okay and I'm stronger because of it, that type of vibe.
What was your source of rage?
Probably self-hatred and my dad and his anger. That was a big source because, I think his dad struggled with it, then he struggled with it, then I struggled with it. It was just passed down. So it was a lot of factors, but I didn't like myself.
Music appeal aside, metal concerts can double as a place to vent.
Is that the tie that connects audience to artist? Is it the rage and the aggression?
When we formed our band, our singer Jonathan, he said, what if we call it Korn? What if a kid misspelled the name and we'll spell it with a K and a backwards R? Because he was singing a lot about child abuse. He went through some stuff. And some people have told us that we gave them a voice for their abuse they went through, and they didn't want to kill themselves.
Brian identifies with their pain.
We're all living this life trying to get through our wounds and our hurts and everything, and some people deal with it through drinking and drugs. I did it for years. I didn't know any other way.
Sin, it says in the Bible, sin is fun for a season, then it starts to eat your life away.
How bad did it get for you?
I started doing meth towards the beginning of Korn before we got a record deal, so then that just opened the door more for addiction, cocaine, pills, and all that. When I did a world tour, I ran out of drugs on my trip, and I had my dealers send me 8 balls and packages of meth overseas. That was my rock bottom. I'm doing anything for my high, even risking my freedom.
Still battling his addiction after failed rehab attempts, he was invited to church by an acquaintance.
I just felt the presence of God. And the pastor said, don't get your life right and come to Jesus. Come to him with all your garbage. Learn about your faith, read the Bible, and pray, and your life will change. I did those things, and within a few weeks, I was off the drugs and in love with Christ. It's a cycle, and I still fight with it sometimes, just addictive behavior. And so, yeah, it's frustrating, but it's like every year I feel like I gain new ground on it. The appeal to that stuff that used to rule my life is just not there anymore.
But Brian did face new hardships while single parenting a teen and troubleshooting business betrayals. He was unknowingly being prepared to reconcile with what he walked away from.
God's son came to this earth and he was considered faithful because he suffered and walked through this life, so he knows all of our pain.
What do you think it was that was necessary where you could return to Korn?
God was forming Christ in me. He's using all the pressures and the difficulties. We do our best, but he does it supernaturally. And if we let him through trials, we become stronger. By humbling me, and he could build me back up. And when he built me back up, I was strong enough. And he said, you're ready, go.
We've been through it all. So it's already rooted enough to be where there's a brotherhood there, and we're just kind of sticking by each other a day at a time, just like family does. Who knows what tomorrow will bring?
For Brian, it could bring another concert and another tattoo, adding to the 35 he has.
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, when they had an encounter with God and they had a revelation, they would build an altar, right? Those were the altars in remembrance of what happened. And so these tattoos are my altars. They're my remembrances.
And it's ever before you.
You
don't have to travel to get to the altar.
Right? And if I leave my Bible at home, bam, Bible verses right there.
When you're on stage, you'd occasionally do oh yeah, there's Galatians.
Yeah, right there. It's like, I'm having a bad show. Look at this. My pick hand, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Right there.
You know, why Hebraic words for both those eyelids?
I like to go inside the word and really find out what it means. And so the glory of God, there's Shekinah glory and the Kabod glory. And Shekinah is like the sweet presence, the inner dwelling, and the Kabod's like the weighty, like powerful presence of God. So I just loved the meaning of that. He was revealing revelation with those words to me. And so I put them on my eyelids.
Love that. Eyes open wide.
Yeah.
Revelation.
Yeah. That's with my book. With my eyes wide open, it's talking about the eyes of the heart being open and enlightened by revelation. And I want as many people as possible for their spiritual eyes to open so they can see that God is real.
Despite the band members' varying beliefs, Brian's focus is to give to others what he's received.
What's the mission now while you're with Corin?
I want as many people as possible for their spiritual eyes to open so they can see that God is real and that He loves unconditionally, and all this wounding and this up and down life that we're living as we walk towards our day that we have to eventually die, all of us, that He's right there and He is the resurrection and the life, and we're fine. And we can experience that resurrection and life on this side of eternity. Now, you get to know and walk with the person who is raised from the dead now. You walk with them in life. And it's just, I want those people to get this. Because that's where the adventure comes, you know? You're walking with them.
Some of you Korn fans know that I found faith in Christ.
Look at us. We're just messed up people that a mighty, like, beautiful, powerful God came and had mercy on us. So just displaying that to those people and letting God do His work.
What could the church do better to earn a voice to that audience?
They can get real with themselves and realize that they are just like those people in the metal crowd. They're broken, and without God, then they're not holy. There's not one that is perfect except Christ. We all need Him. We're all the same.